the scientist. Do
Yeah.
you believe in God?
Every description of God that I've heard holds God to be all-powerful, very typical, and all good. And then I look around and I see a tsunami that killed 250,000 people in Indonesia, an earthquake that killed 250,000 people in Haiti, and I see earthquakes and tornadoes and disease, childhood leukemia, and I see all of this and I say, I do not see evidence of both of those being true simultaneously. If there is a God, the God is either not all-powerful or not all good. Can't be both. But I'm evidence-driven more than I'm faith-driven. To be faith-driven is one thing, but to be faith-driven and try to create legislation on that affects other people who don't share your faith, that's the beginnings of a theocracy. And we have evidence of what that is in the past, and our founding fathers specifically founded this country to prevent that from happening.
If God is all good, how come he lets so many people die? If God is all good, how come he lets all this evil happen in the world? Character development, that's why. Some of you need some struggle and good character development. You don't even know it. My bad, ladies and gentlemen. What I meant to say is this argument that you heard him say is a straw man. Mainly because no matter how many people we see go through these horrible circumstances, that in no way has anything to do with the all-powerful and all-good nature of this conceptual theoretical God. Now, this video isn't about proving if God exists. That's going to be another video. But for the purpose of this argument, as far as God can't be all-powerful and all-good if he just lets all this stuff happen, that can only be true if you actually have the ability to judge what's good and bad. Being that you cannot see more than 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum, just like Anil Seth said in his TED Talk, you hallucinate your conscious reality. You are talking about an almighty being who not only sees into and through infinity, but can see the end from the beginning, how everything is connected, and can definitely see more than 1% of the electromagnetic. So you who hallucinate your conscious reality, and you can check out that TED Talk if you want more details, can't look at one experience which represents a limited perspective and see it as bad just because your subjective filter has you feel bad about the experience. People are gonna hate to hear this, but if somebody takes a gun and blows a baby's head off of it, it's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing either. It's a thing. And in talking about a being who is beyond all of these constructs, that also presupposes they can see how all of these things are connected and why maybe he doesn't just let it happen, he might even facilitate. Thinking that God, in order to be all good, has to prevent these things from happening is like seeing a butterfly break out of a cocoon and feeling like you have to help it out of its struggle. But when you do that, it doesn't, through the struggle, grow its wings. It needs to fly, and now it's a butterfly with underdeveloped wings that can't fly. So before you get in your feelings or you get frustrated and you start to blame God for not being all good or all powerful because he or she or it lets all these things happen, ask yourself, do you just need some character development?